My name is Femi Kuti, and you are watching MadameNoire.
And my name is Steve Handel, the executive producer of Finding Fela, and you are watching MadameNoire.
No diplomacy, no compromises, no agreement.
I think this is the most comprehensive and the best done of them all.
That's good to hear.
I always speak the
Thank
truth.
you. That's true.
And if I didn't like it, I would not be sitting here. I cannot be bribed.
You know, the play covered just sort of a part of the story. And film is we could tell the story a different way. We could tell the story sort of from beginning to end through a documentary film. But the play was, it's a very, very huge thing to keep up, very expensive thing to keep up. And eventually, we had to stop showing it. And it was a way to, to make the play forever.
When I first heard about it, it was off-Broadway. And it went on off-Broadway for quite a while. So off-Broadway, I just thought it was another wave of somebody trying to talk about my father. Then it got on Broadway. Now, for it to get on Broadway, I knew it had to be good, because it has to be 90% good. On Broadway, it has to be good. But then I knew this was probably my time to now make a very big protest. So everybody said, come and watch it. I said, I'm not going to watch it. So I refused vehemently not to go to watch it. So everybody says, why? I said, I'm not going to say why. I'm not going. Why? Please come and watch it. You're the only one of the member of the family who hasn't gone to watch it. And I said, okay, because I wanted to come to Nigeria. Why is everything happening on Broadway when it should be happening in Lagos, Fela's home? Because this play will be nothing without actually coming home and pulling or taking the people of Africa along with the rest of the world. It seems as if the world is leaving Africa behind again. So Steve met me, was it 2000 and when?
10. 2010.
The World Cup final, and he came to my hotel room in New York and signed an invisible contract that he promises me he'll do everything within his power to bring the play to Nigeria. So the next day, I went to watch the film. So the play, sorry. Okay. So I got to the theater, and everything looked so nice and well, and I knew it would be like this, but I didn't expect to cry. I got in and I just started crying. I was weeping, everything. It was so good. I kept crying. I cried. It took me down. So, I was so impressed.
I think the hard part is to be able to make the story really, really tell the story, make it full, cover what an audience needs to know, but then to make it so that it's resonant and that it raises questions and brings out feelings and makes people question, their own assumptions of how they live their life. And I think that's one of the achievements of the film, is it really, it operates on a lot of levels.
We have to, when you understand that a lot of American music coming out, 70s, 80s, were already inspired by my father. What you are hearing now is, it's inevitable that many people will be sampling his music because they still have to take from the source. So it's not like they're doing him a favor by putting him mainstream. They had no choice but to do that. They felt the groove of the music, they want to be part of this groove, so they are not doing Fela a favor. I think it's the other way around. You have to understand that the relationship my father had with everybody was kind of different from mine. He tried not to show it, but you could always see that there was a difference. And I think probably as his son, I had this very sentimental, or how would I call this English word? This fear and so many emotions that I didn't want my father to fail. So I was always very protective of whatever was around him or whatever he was doing, very protective, but still very afraid of all his decisions, like going to dropping his coffin, his mother's coffin at the head of stage. I was very scared for many things like this. Or when he stands in front of the police and say, shoot me, MF, which stands for motherfucker, excuse me. I'm very saddened, but I do understand why we're the way we are. But I would have loved your question to be something like, why is the world not doing anything about the injustice in Nigeria? And why does America and all these so-called intellectual great supernations, how come all this time for the past 60, 50 years have they just sat, how come they have just been sitting back and pretend they're sitting back? How come everybody just waits for something like Boko Haram to happen, and then everybody's like, oh, we didn't know, oh, okay, we're going to, This is what I think is disgusting. I still stay in Nigeria. We still have no electricity. There's no healthcare. There are bad roads. America knows Nigeria is one of the, if not the greatest corrupt nation on the face of this earth. But America is still doing business there. England is still doing business there. France is still doing business there. Everybody's still doing business there because why? We have the resources. Like they are in the Congo, but they pretend as if they don't know what's going on in the Congo or the Sudan, and they wait for a kind of war, then they say, oh yes, America, blah, blah, blah. They start to pretend to their own people that, oh, we don't know about this. But they have been doing business there. And the people of America need to know your governments have been part and parcel of the downfall of Africa. They were, are, and still are part of the problem of Africa. So that should be your question. And I will not allow anybody to run away from the facts.